When LeBron James decides he's retiring, it is coming with trumpets blaring, Adam Silver by his side, and he is going on a state-by-state, coast-to-coast tour so that everyone can acknowledge how great he was and give him a parting gift and thank him for his amazing contributions to the NBA.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The future of the prediction markets, I think, at least for now, may be in the hands of the federal courts. But the good news for those who support prediction markets is that these court battles may last for another 2 to 3 years before we get clarity around the law. And nominee Seelig was handpicked by Donald Trump, not because he was neutral on prediction markets, but because he would do nothing to slow it down.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on Sports.
Time to rise and grind on a beautiful, well, maybe cold in the Northeast, December the 2nd here as we get rolling. We're going to take you through what happened last night in the Monday Night Football game. Who is the new MVP there in the NFL? And more importantly, Joe Ranieri, there is a college football show that's going to have tonight, and ramifications are going to be felt with multiple universities. This is what we do, 7 to 9 a.m. each and every morning right here on the SportsGrid Network. It's the early line. Joe's ready, Donnie's ready, and I know we're going to be energized today, Joe. How do we feel? Like it's Tuesday, man. Let's get the juices going.
I'm good. I believe we had another 2-0 night last night getting it done, and I think that there's way more winners where that came from, Donnie. So for a Tuesday, kicking off the first week in December, I'm ready to roll here.
I got to tell you, I love it, too. That NBA game, they got beat by 30 the night before. Public fades out. Outright victory for those Jazz. Time to get caffeinated. It's time to bring the energy. Joe's got a topic. What is it?
Oh, Donnie, I got to tell you, today we need to have a serious conversation about the people in the striped shirts. Because the level of incompetence that we are now seeing from the NFL referees, it isn't just bad. It's becoming a comedy routine. Now, we are used to phantom holding calls, right? We expect the missed pass interference or the pass interference call that never happened. But this season, they are messing up the most basic, fundamental procedure in the entire sport. It's called flipping a coin, Donnie. Now, how hard is this? Well, let me take you back to Sunday Night Football. Broncos versus Commanders. It's overtime. Millions of dollars on the line in this game around the country. The referee, Land Clark, turns to the Commanders, Tress Way, and asks them, what way do you want to go? And Tress says, well, we want to kick that way. And the ref says, great, and lets him do it. Here's the problem. He let them choose to kick in the direction they wanted to kick, which is, Donnie, as you know, literally against the rules. If you choose to kick, the other team picks the direction. It's day one stuff, Donnie. But it's not just Land Clark. It's a pandemic of total incompetence this season here, Donnie. We just saw Russell Wilson do the exact same thing for the Giants a couple of weeks ago. Pick the kick and the direction, and nobody stopped him. We saw Bryce Young do it for the Panthers against the Falcons this year. Nobody stopped him. And my personal favorite, in Berlin, Clete Blakeman, who's been around the block, let the Colts call the coin toss when they were the home team. The visiting team calls the toss, Donnie. They had to redo the whole thing during a commercial break like a bunch of kids on a playground. It's hilarious, only it's not. These are the people running a multi-billion-dollar industry. And don't even get me started about last week's Texans-Colt game. Okay? The Texans kick an extra point that clearly sails wide right over the upright, and the ref says it's good, except everybody in the building, everybody on television, everybody everywhere saw it and goes, how is that even remotely close to being good? But guess what? Because the ball went supposedly over the upright, it's not reviewable. So we're just going to have to live with a phantom point on the scoreboard because the guy standing underneath the post couldn't see straight. This isn't just human error, Donnie. This is total negligence. So to the NFL, fix this. Teach your officials or get more competent officials to understand the rule book. Or better yet, maybe just let the fans vote on a coin toss app, Donnie. That might be good because at least us as fans, well, we know the difference between heads and tails. Or maybe better yet, take a page out of Major League Baseball's playbook, Donnie, and just let a computer make the calls.
Yeah, sometimes it's simple. And I always say this too, Joe. A lot of times refereeing, you can ref better from your couch with better angles than they actually are there 5 feet away from the play. You can see all the holding calls, and you're right about this. Watching it live in the moment, I had Houston +3. And granted, Houston scores a touchdown. They go up 6 points at that point. They kick the extra point and misses. I'm like, yes, because that means we're not going to get a chance for a tie in overtime, which means somebody's going to win the football game probably by 1 point. And the way you go and you cover that spread. I couldn't even believe they didn't make a fuss on the broadcast. Well, we'll just take their word for it. It was so cut and dry that it was nowhere near an extra point that I was like, they have to be screwing with us. Like somebody from the league office just picked up the phone and goes, guys, correct that error. It doesn't make any sense. Gloss right over it. And then away we go. We get the kickoff. It's 20-13. I couldn't believe what I was watching. But yes, sometimes we have just too many rules. The game is too fast. And now that we have so many angles and so many things, we just can't take, it wasn't a fumble. It was nothing. We see everything in 4K now. It's crazy there that, yes, refereeing, and it's only going to get worse. We know that, Joe, over the next couple of years. We have bigger mistakes on the field, and it's just the way it happens here. Great caffeinated Joe this morning. Let's get to the early lineup, which includes, hey, Lane Kiffin. Now, hold on. Why do I see Lane Kiffin here at this point leaving? Do I have the wrong – look at this, Joe. I have the wrong rundown on my screen right now that has Lane Kiffin headed
like
to
Lane
Ole
Kiffin,
Miss. What do you think about that?
If we're being honest, Drake May looks a little bit like Lane Kiffin there. So, yes, I don't think you're that far off.
Lane Kiffin, Drake May, same thing. One played college football, one coached college football. It's the way it is here. He looks good. The Patriots look good. And another victory on deck for Drake May and the Patriots. 11 on the season, Joe.
Yeah, no, I mean, congratulations. Another win against a 2-win football team. The Giants are just laughable on so many different levels. But kudos, the Patriots, yes, they got it done. They held serve, even though they only scored 3 points in the second half. But yes, they got it done there last night against finding ways to be incompetent. You think the refs are bad. This Giants team is inventing new ways, including not being able to kick a field goal because your kicker's foot gets caught in the turf. Never seen that one either, Donnie.
I'm telling, never seen that in my life right there. I didn't even know what happened at that point. And they showed it like, they're just like a brain glitch when you're swinging your leg, almost like a Charles Barkley golf swing at that point is what that looked like here. Sauce Gardner considered day to day. No, he's not. I'm saying it right now. He's week to week and maybe month to month. As a cornerback, you strain a calf, that's weeks you're down. Trade all that draft capital away, hoping that you have 2 lockdown corners, and you don't now. That's tough for Indy, and they're slipping at the wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, they so badly wanted, a lockdown corner that apparently they looked past the fact that, well, he's had this problem all year with the Jets too, Donnie. So it was just a matter of time before maybe this issue came to rise again. And now it has, and maybe at the worst time, Donnie, at a time where, they need to kick this thing into another gear if they're going to hold on to a playoff spot and that division.
Justin Herbert breaks his hand, gets pins in his hand on Monday, and now he's day-to-day with a legit chance to play next Monday night against the Philadelphia Eagles, Joe.
Oh, I'm willing to bet. Listen, if he came back into that game against the Raiders after breaking it with no pins and just some sort of glove and tape, I am fairly certain he's going to be available for this game come Monday night time.
Here's an interesting one for Penn State, by the way. Kalani Sitake, head coach for BYU, has done a great job here. They're eyeing him for that. And I got to tell you, I don't hate that move, Joe. I don't.
No, I don't. And you know what? I kind of respect how Penn State has gone about its business. They haven't played it out in the press, in the media. They've quietly under the radar found their guy. They've been working out negotiations. And the question is, Donnie, whether or not this deal gets done before the Big 12 championship, because BYU might have a shot at a playoff spot as well.
How about Pat Fitzgerald back in the Big Ten here, no longer at Northwestern, was banished from them, but now reappears at Michigan State. This is what happens when you're losing your football program. You're willing to take risks on the coach that you hire. And by the way, I like this hire for Michigan State.
I love it. I love Pat Fitzgerald. I thought he got a raw deal there at Northwestern. So did the courts, apparently. So it's good to see him back on the sidelines.
Devin Booker, groin injury versus the Lakers. Won't see him no more.
Yeah, take a number. Him and a number of other guys in the NBA that are big superstars.
Hey, how about this, Joe? Spend a lot of money on a pitcher who can't pitch in New York, but sign him to pitch in New York? Devin Williams to the Mets. Oh, that should work out well. We're just getting started right here on the early line.
The play is Our Fam. You don't know about Our Fam? Go look her up on social media. Go look at YouTube. 19-year-old from Spain, 6'6", block shots, runs the floor, rebounds, post up, inside, outside, pop the corn, serve the beer, and it can clean up the mess when you're done eating your meal. This lady is absolutely fantastic.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ole Miss got left at the altar, and Ole Miss decided, I'm either going to let her continue to embarrass me, or I'm going to have some self-respect and kick her ass out the door and lock it behind her and not let her back in. And that, for me, is the right thing to do. Lane Kiffin had the right to leave. Yep. He chose to leave. I wish you the best of luck. Not really.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Take a look at it, you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's stunning to think that, right? And I had the over on the win total, or going into the year with the Patriots, was 8.5. I thought they could win 10 games. They've already won 10 games. And that is a stunning turnaround, to go from worst to first here. And they're not the only team that could do it. The Jaguars could do it too. They are right on that precipice here if they handle their business against the Titans the next couple weeks and, at least split between the Indianapolis Colts those two games.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Championship, people, week, that is. Because why? We are going to determine where our seating is going to be, which coaches are still going to hang around after their teams win or lose, and also, more importantly, we want to see a television show tonight that's going to tell us exactly what we should be watching out for this weekend. But this is the time of the show, Joe. We like to go over some spread lines, some key information that you need to know for some of the biggest games of the week, even games that you might not even be knowing or playing. Say, well, Donnie, what are you talking about? We know like Georgia's going to play Alabama, and you're going to have a terrible ACC game, and all eyes are going to be focused on the Big Ten with Ohio State, Indiana. But how about this one? Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State. This game's going to be played Friday night, Joe. Opened up around a 1.5-point spread, slightly moving higher to 2.5 as a favorite towards Kennesaw State. The total in this game is 59.5 across the board right now. Give us a spread line, Joe. Kennesaw and Jacksonville.
Yeah, Conference USA, Donnie, and you know I have loved Kennesaw State this year in their second season as a member of the FBS, and now they're going to a conference championship game. Keep in mind, this team was 2-10 last season. Fire their coach. They get a new head coach. They get new guys in there, and now they're in the Conference USA Championship. And the same thing with Jacksonville State, by the way. Don't forget, Rich Rod was their head coach a year ago. Did a pretty good job with the program. Now he's at West Virginia, and these two teams played back on November 15th. Jacksonville State won 35-26, was woefully outgained, and the only reason they won is because Kennesaw State, through the 4 interceptions in the game, had a -4 turnover. But that's not stopping the bettors here, Donnie, because Jacksonville State was the 1.5-point favorite at the open. Not anymore. It is now, like you said, Kennesaw State laying 2.5. So early week action, Donnie, it has been all Kennesaw State money to get even in game number 2 in the conference championship.
Let's get after it here in the Big 12, Joe. 12 o'clock noon kickoff on Saturday. BYU and Texas Tech. This line opened up around 12.5. Now we're seeing 12.5s to 13.5s in the marketplace in a total, Joe, listed at 50.5. A lot is on the line. I'm going to ask you some questions about college football and what that program tonight is going to deliver. But tell me the spread line and what we should watch out for BYU and Texas Tech.
Well, we just talked about one of them, Donnie, right? We talked about what is the coach for BYU doing? Is he going to be the next Penn State coach? Is it a distraction? Is there a deal done before this game kicks off? By the way, early kickoff in Jerry World there in Arlington with BYU and Texas Tech. Texas Tech destroyed him the first game, right? The first matchup, 29-7. They were almost a 2-touchdown favorite, but that game was in Lubbock. This is in a neutral setting here. I mean, listen, it's a 4-hour drive from Arlington to Lubbock there. So this is going to be a very pro Texas Tech crowd here. Heavy money. And why wouldn't it be, Donnie? I mean, BYU's been a great story, but Texas Tech is literally just running away with every game. I think the money's going to keep coming in on Texas Tech. They apparently are going to go scorched earth. And there's a lot of question marks now around this BYU team with who's coaching it. Revenge is wonderful, but the market doesn't seem to think BYU is going to get it.
By the way, 8:14 segment, guys. Make sure you stick around. I know you guys love the show because we're going to get into some college football questions I need some answers to, which we won't get till tonight, but I certainly want Joe's opinion, and you'll get mine as well. Let's keep moving forward. Some action, Joe. This Saturday noon kickoff. I believe this game's still played in Detroit. Miami, Ohio taking on Western Michigan. A total of 43.5. Very anti-MAC right there, and a side at 2.5 for Western Michigan. Miami, Ohio, chucking the boys, taking on Western Michigan. What's the spread line?
Yeah, I mean, Miami, by the way, of Ohio, did beat Western Michigan during the regular season, 26-17 here. But both of these teams were tied 6-2 in the conference. That's how they got to this MAC championship. And you know, Donnie, I've been riding Western Michigan and that underrated defense all year long. The problem is Miami of Ohio's quarterback, DeQuan Finn, left the team because he wants to get ready for the NFL draft. What? NFL draft? Nobody even knows who you are. Are you kidding me? But the reality is, Donnie, we haven't seen the line move at all in this. It opened 2.5. It is at 2.5. We did see, obviously, a little money tick to the under. This is going to be a game all about the defenses. So I agree with the move to the under in the total. I don't ever think this gets to 3, Donnie. So I think what we see is what we're going to get.
The only Daquans we know out there are Daquan's dance grooves, right? Remember from Napoleon Dynamite? That's the only Daquan that we know on this show right now, people. Let's keep it moving. How about Thursday night? A massive game, Joe. In the NFC, The resurgent Dallas Cowboys looking to put away the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Detroit Lions in under 3 weeks' time. They could do it here. Jared Goff's going to try to stand in their way, but look at this. That opening line, Joe, 5.5s and 6s, depending where you're shopping at. Now we're down to 3s across the board and a total of 54.5. Questions on will Amon-Ra St. Brown play in this game, but bigger questions. Should we be fearing Dallas with an Eagles collapse? Could they win this game and say, whoa, forget playoffs, we're coming for the division? What's that spread line here, Joe, for this week's game?
Donnie, what a difference a month makes, huh? I mean, are you kidding me? We all a month ago would have looked at the look-ahead line here and thought, this game is going to be a touchdown at least. In Detroit, maybe even higher here. The fact that it even opened up a look-ahead at 5.5 is crazy to me. But now, Donnie, we're seeing nothing but Cowboy money, 3s, 3.5s, the total getting up a little bit higher. I mean, my goodness, all of a sudden, we've got ourselves a battle on our hand, and the Cowboys, who have won 3 in a row, and they've beaten the Eagles and Chiefs in that span. Now we'll have an opportunity to take down the Lions. Listen, -3 to -3.5, not out of the realm of possibility. I think this is where it's going to land, Donnie. The question is, do you want the hook with Dallas, or do you want the 3 with Detroit? But I don't think they're going to make it easy for you in the market right up until kickoff.
No, they won't. Maybe a little hot seat for Dan Campbell. You see the Chicago Bears dominating football, and now the play caller's gone. Oh, boy, there's a lot of issues there. Let's get to the Garden, not Madison Square Garden, the Boston Garden, the Knicks and the Celtics tonight, Joe. Now we have a 1-point favorite at a lot of outlets here for the Boston Celtics live and a total of 230. What's that quick spread line on this one for you?
Line flip, Donnie. Last night, Knicks opened up as a slight favorite in that game. The total has been getting bet up all night long, up over 230 now. Your Celtics are now the favorite.
How about this? From Celtics to Patriots. Are the Patriots for real? Joe and Donnie, we're talking about it next.
The play is our fam. You don't know about our fam? Go look her up on social media. Go look at YouTube. 19-year-old from Spain, 6'6", block shots, runs the floor, rebounds, post up, inside, outside, pop the corn, serve the beer, and it can clean up the mess when you're done eating your meal. This lady is absolutely fantastic.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Ole Miss got left at the altar. And Ole Miss decided, I'm either going to let her continue to embarrass me, or I'm going to have some self-respect and kick her ass out the door and lock it behind her and not let her back in. And that, for me, is the right thing to do. Lane Kiffin had the right to leave. He chose to leave. I wish you the best of luck. Not really.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You take a look at it, you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that. Because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's stunning to think that, right? And I had the over on the win total, or going into the year with the Patriots, was 8.5. I thought they could win 10 games. They've already won 10 games. And that is a stunning turnaround, to go from worst to first here. And they're not the only team that could do it. The Jaguars could do it too. They are right on that precipice here if they handle their business against the Titans the next couple weeks and, at least split between the Indianapolis Colts, those 2 games.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
7.5 points in the marketplace last night for those New York Giants. How would they respond? Well, they responded by being down 17-0 at the end of the first quarter. Their superstar, young top 3 draft pick defensive end was sitting on the sidelines hanging out because he was suspended for a bit of time in that game as well. Things aren't looking good for the Giants, which even included their star quarterback, Jackson Dart, getting absolutely destroyed on the sideline, trying to pick up extra yards. Wasn't the Giants' night, but I tell you this, Joe, that's 10 straight victories for the New England Patriots. 33-15 final. Your boy Joe Ranieri told you to hit the over. Add that up. 46.5. Oh, look, 48. That's an over. That's a cash play. That's a best bet winner, Joe. How did we feel last night with the Patriots? 11-2, 10 straight victories.
Yeah, I mean, listen, congrats, great win. But, the Giants single-handedly handed them 17 points in that game, Donnie. It was quite laughable, to begin with here, because the special teams of the Giants, listen, you fired the DC, and I thought they did a very good job given the fact that you kept turning the ball over in your own territory there. And I thought the defense did a pretty good job there under a new coordinator. But you better fire this special teams guy. Has got to go as well. You give up a 94-yard punt return on the second possession of the game. You botched the extra, the field goal attempt. Come on. Special teams absolutely ruined them. They later had that kickoff return that they fumbled, which, by the way, incidentally, Donnie, did you know that apparently if you are a runner, you can be hit in the head legally and not get flagged for it? Oh, that's great stuff. That's good. They literally took the NY off the helmet, got absolutely wiped off because of the hit to the helmet when he fumbled, but that's okay, I guess, in the NFL.
By the way, the TV ref in the booth did explain it. He's like, yeah, he's a runner out there. It's okay to hit him in the head. I was like, that's a pretty good explanation right now, because it is true at that point, but it's just counterproductive. And especially when they're trying to make the kickoff safer. That was as violent as you could possibly get. A dude knocked out and fumbled the football. And dude's like, yeah, you're allowed to hit him in the head. It's like, okay, duly noted, and we'll move forward at this point. Now, also, taking hits to the head, something Jackson Dart doesn't want to do. He actually got hit a little bit early in that game on a play where he slid down, and then he tried to get extra yards and absolutely got smoked on the sideline. Here's Rabel talking about the Dart hit.
You've said being aggressive and attacking a couple of times. Does some of the way that Christian Ellis had some of those bigger hits at the beginning of the game, is that something that everybody feeds off of? Is that something that kind of gives you guys a lift?
I think I certainly did. I think our fans did. I think our team did. And again, that's, it's a weekly reminder to the quarterback, our quarterback. We show him every week. I wouldn't get too cute over there by the sidelines. It happens every week. And so Christian's playing, through the whistle, and as long as the player's in bounds, he's going to try to hit him legally.
He's right about that, Joe. We're going to hear about Dart in just a few moments talking about that play, Joe. But the one thing that makes me angry in the NFL at times is the Patrick Mahomes rule. Let me run to the sideline, slow down, turn it up for 4 or 5 extra yards. That's the play that you like to see, where it's like, you're not going to steal extra yards. You have the ability just to get out of bounds. Stop stealing extra yards. It was a legal hit. And quite frankly, I didn't even mind the New York Giants retaliating, because you're going to pick up for your quarterback whether it's right or wrong anyway.
Yeah, and it was the tight end of all things who later also dropped a pass in the end zone for a touchdown, Giants. That was outstanding, Theo. Appreciate that. But at least he stuck up for his quarterback. Listen, you're a rookie. I get it. But, somebody has got to get into his ear. And I'm hoping, Donnie, next year he'll be a little bit better about this, because Vrabel's absolutely correct. They're probably hammering that home to Drake May, like, hey, don't get cute. Don't get the extra yard. Live to fight another play and get out of bounds there. So it's unfortunately a live and learn type of situation with him, because mentally he apparently thinks he's a linebacker, and he is not, Donnie.
Absolutely. Can we quickly fit in a little words from Jackson Dart here on that play? Let's do it.
Jackson was asking you about the hits, taking the back, other things like that.
No. Look, I understand the question, but this is football. I'm gonna get hit if I'm in the pocket or outside the pocket. I feel like I've played this way my whole entire life. this shouldn't be like any shocker to anybody if you've followed along with my career. And we're not playing soccer out here. Like, you're gonna get hit, things happen. It's part of the game.
Part of the game, Joe. That's the way it is. That's a young Jackson Dart taking those hits he shouldn't be taking there. More NFL news and notes
Donnie.
next. Take it back. Take it back.
You're a 1 o'clock guy again, huh?
Well, I didn't know I have to appease you.
What do you mean appease me? I'm trying to get a read on you.
Well, I don't. That's it. I don't want you to get a read. I zig.
Okay.
What are you? You're on me like flies on rice.
Well, I once watched you destroy an NFL team's season because you zagged so hard in the best bet segment.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Look at Nikola Jokic. He had kind of gotten himself off to a slow start at the beginning of the year, but that was partially because of that 50-point game that Aaron Gordon had, or it was the Jamal Murray had a big game. But these last 6 or 7 games, he's been putting up video game stats. His 62.8% from the floor would be the best in, I think, 3 or 4 years.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ole Miss got left at the altar, and Ole Miss decided, I'm either going to let her continue to embarrass me, or I'm going to have some self-respect and kick her ass out the door and lock it behind her and not let her back in. And that, for me, is the right thing to do. Lane Kiffin had the right to leave. Yep. He chose to leave. I wish you the best of luck. Not really.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
It's stunning to think that, right? And I had the over on the win total, or going into the year with the Patriots, was 8.5. I thought they could win 10 games. They've already won 10 games. And that is a stunning turnaround, to go from worst to first here. And they're not the only team that could do it. The Jaguars could do it too. They are right on that precipice here if they handle their business against the Titans the next couple weeks and, at least split between the Indianapolis Colts those 2 games.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
NFL news and notes right here on the early line on a Tuesday morning edition right here on the SportsGrid Network. You know us. We set the table. You got to know what's going to happen for the rest of your SportsGrid day, but more importantly, what's going to happen into the future, and also when players are changing teams here. The Rats are running off the ship, Joe Ranieri. What are you talking about? It's the Minnesota Vikings right now. Have you seen J.J. McCarthy? Have you seen Mr. Max Brosmer play quarterback? Wide receivers are going to management right now saying, just let me out of this equation. I want to play football elsewhere. That's what happened to Adam Thielen. He went to management and said, hey, man, it's just not working out here. Whether it's me, you, or the quarterback stink, I don't think I have a future here. And this is a guy that was just returning back as the conquering hero and traded for draft picks like, you're not using me? I can't catch a ball from these guys. Just let me go. And the Minnesota Vikings go, sure, go ahead, Adam. You're out of here.
Can you blame him? I mean,
No.
He's got limited snaps in his career left. He knows it, right? So why not try and help a team that can actually, contend and has a quarterback that can actually throw the ball? Not kudos to Thielen for recognizing it, but he just basically solidified what we've all been thinking here, Donnie, after they made this move here to start Prosper last week, that Minnesota is not in it to win games here, Donnie. They are basically in it to run out the rest of the season and move on from there.
Let me tell you something. If anybody out there watched, and a lot of people probably did or saw highlights, Seattle was so convinced Minnesota couldn't even get a first down. They just basically took a knee for 3 quarters and still extended their lead because of how bad Minnesota is with their quarterback play. This is a team with a solid offensive line, a good ground game, the best wide receiver in football, and good complementary features, and they can't move the football because their quarterback play is horrendous here. So Adam Thielen is out. We'll see where he lands. Free agent. can go to a team and win and maybe help out another team. Let's get to this next story here because it's Philadelphia-centric, and I love this stuff. And sometimes we blow things out of proportion. And I don't know where anybody grew up, and maybe it's just me living in South Jersey. Kids do stupid things all the time. Maybe you didn't like a teacher that lived in town. Oh, yeah, let's go egg their house or toilet paper their house. Harmless fun as long as you're not breaking windows and doing a lot of damage. Now we're seeing the police are involved because dumb young kids filmed egging Kevin Patullo's house after the horrible season so far for the offensive coordinator. People are taking this, like you see right there, per Friday, the Morristown Police Department. By the way, Morristown is a very affluent suburb here in South Jersey. And you saw the house. It's quite nice. That guy's making a lot of money. But understand this, Joe. Like, what are we getting worked up for? He got his house egged. Is that criminal for 5 to 7 years behind bars? Get over it. Hey, Patullo, you know you don't get your house egged here? Call a good game, win football games. We don't have to worry about it here. That's all.
You know what I mean? Did Shane Steichen get his house egged when he was there, Donnie? No, didn't have. No, shocker there. Kellen Moore?
Yep,
no.
Neither Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, right. Couldn't do that either? No. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing a pattern here. Nobody is just randomly egging your house because things are going swimmingly with the exact same, for the most part, offense that you had that won a Super Bowl. Something changed. Oh, that's right. The OC changed. So, yeah. My goodness. It just doesn't shock me, Donnie. Philly fans, if nothing else, they are passionate. When it's going good, they're your best friend, Donnie. When it's going bad, yeah, they're going to let you know about it.
They are. By the way, a movie called All the Right Moves in the 1980s with Tom Cruise. When the coach, they were upset with him, what'd they do? Went to his house, dumped trash out there, spray painted his house, and put every for sale marker in that front yard there and told him to get out. Look, people get angry at coaches all the time. We're not advocating for any violence, but getting a couple eggs busted off your house because you're not performing well, not the worst thing in the world. Let's not make too big of a deal out of this here. How about this deal? Great news for Sauce Gardner, or is it? Like, I don't know how. This seems like, Joe, we are waiting for an Achilles injury. How many times do we see, like, hey, I got a calf injury, I'm going to come back a little bit too soon. Oh, no, turns into Achilles. Worst case scenario for the Colts, man. They just made this deal. 2 first-round draft picks here. Sauce is going to be that lockdown corner. We're going to win a Super Bowl, or at least make a deep playoff run, and everything seems to be crashing down. We'll see when Sauce comes back, but I don't like what I see here. A top cornerback with a calf injury, that's never a good thing, Joe.
No, but, we saw this, hints of this when he was with the Jets. He had missed some times. There was concern about a calf injury there, but you weren't sure if it was like, they're just like, we're so bad right now. But no, there has been a history of it here, and that's the one coin flip that you had. Listen, even if they had known about it, I don't know that it was going to stop them from making the deal. It doesn't sound like, they're hoping a couple of weeks, maybe. But it's just an unfortunate situation that, he has to go to the Colts for all of that draft capital to make this team better. And not only once he went down, did you notice how much Nico Collins was involved in that game? That's going to be a big loss for the Colts here moving forward.
Absolutely, it is. Lockdown corner, 2 really good cornerbacks. Now you're down 1. You can pick on the other one. It happens all the time here. How about Justin Herbert? He broke his hand in a football game, came back in, got surgery yesterday, put some screws in there, coach, and put me back into the game. He's day-to-day for Monday's clash against the Philadelphia Eagles. He's going to play, no doubt in my mind.
Listen, he came back into the game with no pins and no nothing. He rubbed some dirt on it, put a little tape and a Michael Jackson glove, and he was back in the game, Donnie. So I'm not thinking a couple of pins and a little surgery is going to stop from getting here. And by the way, at one point in the game when he came back out from the locker room, he was standing next to Harbaugh. The dude is an absolute monster, Donnie. Like, he is a huge, and you think, like, wait, Harbaugh played NFL quarterback? My goodness, is he a big dude? Oh, my, wow. 6'6", 6'7"? Whew.
Eagles working on that chop to the arm, Joe. You know it. Jalen Phillips coming around that corner, whacking that ham, bang, right across it, knocked that football loose. We'll see if it happens. How about this? Andy Reid, we got video here of why they need to win their next 5 games, not to be the number 1 seed, just to get in. And he used some interesting words here. Let's hear from him.
Going your way, and that you can win these next 5 games in a row.
Yeah, well, I believe that. I mean, I believe you come, if you're coming to me on this, Matt, I'm telling you, we're going to go after you every game. And, that's how we roll. we're going to try to tickle your tonsils on every play, every game. And but that's the attitude that we're coming in with. And then you let the chips fall where they may. But at the same time, you got to make sure you take care of the small things here that we've got rolling. We've got to make sure that we get rid of some of these mistakes. But there's not a game that I go into that I don't think we're going to get after you.
By the way, a quick question on that. Like, tickling the tonsils, kind of tough scene right there for Big Red. They got to win 5 games. But I always like to see, like, a head coach of an NFL team that probably makes $15 million north, $1 billion organization. Don't they have a little area in their probably 2,000 square foot office where they just have a nice camera and a little microphone that they can talk? Why is it always like I'm on an iPad and I can't get anything correct here? It looks terrible. Why is that?
How long after that, Donnie, do you think the PR department came in and said, "Yeah, coach, tickling the tonsils, probably let's not do that. Let's not say that anymore. Let's not do that anymore." And Donnie, listen, like he said, they expect to win the next 5 games. I expect to get the next 6 Powerball numbers. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, Donnie.
Not going to happen for those Chiefs here. By the way, Liam Cohen had to address his punter's issue where the punter was saying he's going to kill people out there. I like what I hear. What do you got?
One of the Titans players, I guess, after the game said Logan Cook threatened to kill him in one of those altercations there, and that's kind of blown up a little bit. I was just wondering, your thought about whether that might have been across the line or anything, or if that's something, that just happens during games.
I've probably heard that said 100 times. From players in games, so whatever.
There you go. Hey, look, here's it all. Everybody apparently, Joe, yells during the game, "I'm going to kill you." No big deal in the NFL.
Listen, and this generation ain't even the generation of trash talking, Donnie.
No.
Dick Butkus, you go back all the way, guys that were literally telling you how they were going to rip you from shred to shred.
Shred to shred. Liam Cohen and the boys looking good for a playoff spot in Duval. Coach is up next.
Now you're a 1 o'clock guy again, huh?
Well, I didn't know I have to appease you.
What do you mean appease me? I'm trying to get a read on you.
Well, that's it. I don't want you to get a read. I zig.
Okay.
What are you? You're on me like flies on rice.
Well, I once watched you destroy an NFL team's season because you zagged so hard in the best bet segment.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Look at Nikola Jokic. He had kind of gotten himself off to a slow start at the beginning of the year, but that was partially because of that 50-point game that Aaron Gordon had, or it was the Jamal Murray had a big game. But these last 6 or 7 games, he's been putting up video game stats. His 62.8% from the floor would be the best in, I think, 3 or 4 years.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ole Miss got left at the altar, and Ole Miss decided, I'm either going to let her continue to embarrass me, or I'm going to have some self-respect and kick her ass out the door and lock it behind her and not let her back in. And that, for me, is the right thing to do. Lane Kiffin had the right to leave. Yep. He chose to leave. I wish you the best of luck. Not really.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
It's stunning to think that, right? And I had the over on the win total, or going into the year with the Patriots, was 8.5. I thought they could win 10 games. They've already won 10 games. And that is a stunning turnaround, to go from worst to first here. And they're not the only team that could do it. The Jaguars could do it too. They are right on that precipice here if they handle their business against the Titans the next couple weeks and, at least split between the Indianapolis Colts, those 2 games.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Oh, we spend a lot of time talking about NCAA football and NFL football, and rightfully so, as those teams are looking to make playoff surges in both the NFL and also in college football. We got to get to some hoops action. It's Donnie right side, it's Joe and Erie. Let's bring in the coach, our coach, James Young. And there is a lot of topics to get to today, Coach JY. How are we feeling this morning? Good, bad, cold? What is it?
A little cold, but that's all right. I got my hot coffee, so I'm ready to roll. But, I mean, you want to talk about Monday Night Football. How about Monday Night Madness in the NBA with all these upsets that took place last night?
I got to tell you, Coach, yesterday on this show, I like to do a public fade every day. I was like, you know what? Something don't look right here. One team won by 30 the night before. Looks like another easy victory for Houston. We were on the Jazz yesterday. An outright victory, which is the question I want to ask you here. It seems, Coach, to me, we have a real high top end right now in the NBA and a real low bar for some teams that already look like they're done on the season, Coach. OKC 20-1, the Pistons 17-4, the Lakers 15-5. We got some great stuff at the top, but some bad stuff at the bottom here.
Well, we have some bad stuff at the bottom, and one of the teams that was at the top was the Rockets, who gave up 133 points to a Utah Jazz team. And I want people to understand this with Utah. We're going to see what happens with Lauri Markkanen. I fully expect Danny Ainge to putt and trade him because Danny Ainge trades everybody, and he's always in a rebuilding mode. But he's got to get a little bit of credit for Keontae George. He has really come on to his own. 28 points last night. This guy was a walking bucket at Baylor for Scott Drew. He could be that, ace in the hole for them in the backcourt. If they move on Mark and give a little bit more time to Ace Bailey, and then you're looking at that NBA draft, whether it's DeBanza or is it Boozer or is it Peterson. Those are kind of those top three guys. But at some point, Utah, even though they're giving you some good numbers, especially at Lauri Markkanen, I still expect them to be traded, whether it's at the trade deadline or during the summer, because they're just going to keep hitting the reset button.
Oh, Coach, I mean, I don't want to consider it an upset, but I mean, the Lakers have been very, very good, even with LeBron coming back, but they've beaten all teams under 500. Then they met the Phoenix Suns last night in the second of a back-to-back, and it didn't work out all that well. Nobody thought Phoenix would be this competitive. Are you shocked here? And are the Lakers just really good against bad teams here?
Stunned. I'm stunned. And when you look at Phoenix, I'm looking at this team, well, this team's a hot mess. I mean, think about this, guys. They score 125 points, and tell me if you had this on your bingo card. Booker gets 11, Gillespie gets you 28, Brooks gets you 33. Oh, when you win by 17 points. That's like, whatever. N45. I never got that on my bingo card. So to me, what a performance by those guys, and you have to give them credit. And Matt Ishbia, the owner, kind of went after people, me included, where I was like, this team's going to be terrible. But they're competing, they're playing well, and the Lakers kind of took advantage of their schedule a little bit in regards to the teams that they've beaten. So not all of these long winning streaks are equal. You can even look at Detroit winning in a close game last night, right? They had that 13-game winning streak. Guys, only 4 of those games were against teams over 500. Only 1 game was against a team that's top 6 in the East. So when you look at, yes, teams are playing well, but you got to look at who they're playing, how they're matching up, who's available, who's traveling, so on and so forth.
How about this, Coach? I want to focus on OKC because they're doing something remarkable right now. Here's a tweet from the NBA that they put out. Like, SGA scored 20-plus points in 93 straight games. And if you don't know how hard that is to do, the second longest streak in the NBA behind only Wilt Chamberlain. When it's you and Wilt Chamberlain, you're doing something right. But answer me this question. You see what SGA and Golden State are doing right now. And I just told you the standings, 20-1. Sometimes you take a look at the regular season and say, yes, it's about winning a championship, which they did last year. Talk to me, Coach, about setting records and that mindset for OKC, which every victory they get, pressing that needle down. Hey, you're usually going to take a night off next Tuesday. I don't want to take a night off. Like, we're doing something historic. What is OKC's finish line point this season, Coach? What is it? Can they break the all-time record for wins in an NBA season?
They absolutely can. And it doesn't matter that J-Dub missed the first, 18 so games of the season. It doesn't matter if Hartenstein missed time. It doesn't matter if Chet misses time. Number one, as long as SGA is healthy, that's the key. But we have to get our flowers to Sam Presti. I mean, you want to talk about bingo? Let's play again. Isaiah Mitchell giving you 15.2 points per game. Wiggins giving you 13.2. You know, Isaiah Joe stepping up. Keyshawn Wallace stepping up. Lou Dort. I mean, it's literally like roll the dice. Who's the 5? All right, you guys go in and go play. And they don't beat teams. They smoke teams. That's the interesting thing about the NBA. In a league where it's pros and you're looking at teams and saying, okay, anybody can beat anybody. You literally go into game. And it's almost like the 96 Bulls or that 73-9 Warriors team. It's not like, are they going to lose? It's like, well, how much are they going to win by? Or are they going to cover the spread? Because they just have too many weapons. And this is just, honestly, guys, the beginning of what I think could be a run that could go on for almost a decade.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, and the schedule helps too because they played a whole lot of just absolute garbage, and they're winning those games rather easily. Listen, your Knicks, coach. I mean, come on, man. Brunson averaging, 28, 29 a game. They're playing defense. They got some depth, and yet the market has flipped it here, and now all of a sudden we're looking at the Celtics, a favorite tonight in Boston against your Knicks. You got to like what you're seeing from the Knicks so far, no?
Yeah, I like what I see out of the Knicks so far. Boston's played better, but when you look at New York, it's just a different style of basketball, right? The ball's moving, the people moving. Not just, even though Brunson's had a big week, Eastern Conference Player of the Week, they're getting contributions from everywhere. And here's a key guy to look at. His minutes are very small. Look at Mitchell Robinson. I think he's up there for rebounds per minute. If they hang that number at 7.5, I'll tell you right now, it does not matter. He will give you, last game, he had 17 minutes and 15 rebounds. So look at Mitchell Robinson's numbers as they get close to game time. If he plays, it's about 7.5, look to take the over.
Coach, quick update here on the NBA awards market with the MVP. Tight knit with the top 3, SGA, Jokic, and Doncic. Who is your MVP early in the NBA season?
Honestly, none of the 3. If they stay number 1, Cade Cunningham should get considered for MVP.
50-1 shot there. Coach has handed out 50-1 tickets. Pay your Christmas presents. Give me a fadeaway to the break, Coach. Pump it up, baby. We'll be right back to a break. Thanks, Coach.
You're a 1 o'clock guy again, huh?
Well, I didn't know I have to appease you.
What do you mean appease me? I'm trying to get a read on you.
Well, I don't. That's it. I don't want you to get a read. I said.
Okay.
What are you? You're on me like flies on rice.
Well, I once watched you destroy an NFL team's season because you zagged so hard in the best bet segment.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Look at Nikola Jokic. He had kind of gotten himself off to a slow start at the beginning of the year, but that was partially because of that 50-point game that Aaron Gordon had, or it was the Jamal Murray had a big game. But these last 6 or 7 games, he's been putting up video game stats. His 62.8% from the floor would be the best in, I think, 3 or 4 years.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ole Miss got left at the altar, and Ole Miss decided, I'm either going to let her continue to embarrass me, or I'm going to have some self-respect and kick her ass out the door and lock it behind her and not let her back in. And that, for me, is the right thing to do. Lane Kiffin had the right to leave. Yep. He chose to leave. I wish you the best of luck. Not really.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
It's stunning to think that, right? And I had the over on the win total, or going into the year with the Patriots, was 8.5. I thought they could win 10 games. They've already won 10 games. And that is a stunning turnaround, to go from worst to first here. And they're not the only team that could do it. The Jaguars could do it too. They are right on that precipice here if they handle their business against the Titans the next couple weeks and, at least split between the Indianapolis Colts, those 2 games.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Make me commissioner, Joe Raniero. I want to be commissioner of all sports here because we got some pretty good basketball in college that we're going to pay attention to in just a few moments here. But just move this schedule into January and February, and we will be just fine. Oh, they do play that, and I'm okay with that. But right now, Joe, I feel like I don't watch enough college basketball because the NFL and college football is so impassioned and so crazy at this time of the year that we look at the AP top 25, and so many times I see this, I'm like, oh, we're talking about football again. No, we're not. Purdue, Arizona, Michigan, Duke, and UConn. By the way, Michigan putting some really good teams to shame as of late, moves into that 3 spot. A lot of good basketball teams, a lot still to be determined. But for me, I just don't watch college basketball until we flip that calendar to the new year, Joe.
Well, it's, we're starting to get, certainly with a lot of the mid-major conferences, starting to get some conference play here now that, some of these early season tournaments are going away here, Donnie. So, yeah, conference tournament time's a little bit different. Coaches have given, themselves an opportunity to figure out rotations, what players are what and who and where. So some of the craziness that we've seen thus far in college basketball will begin to go away, and we'll start to get a much more steady performance from teams. Now the kids know exactly where they are in the pecking order, what the rotations are. And I, for one, think it's going to be an awful lot of fun, especially this ACC-SEC matchup that's coming up here this week. That's one of my favorite tournaments of the year, and it really gives teams a pretty good litmus test as to where are you right now, and now that you've played for a month and a half together.
Yeah, it is a really good thing that they started up and matching like versus like competition, not just like rolling the dice, like, oh, good team plays horrendous team. You try to match them up, and it makes a lot of sense. We got a good matchup tonight at Cameron Indoor. That's Florida taking on Duke here. Look at that line. Opened up at FanDuel at -8.5. We're actually down to 6.5 at FanDuel, but most outlets are showing 7.5. DraftKings, BetMGM, Bet365, and a total, Joe, of 156.5 as we look currently to 157.5. Can Duke handle the business at home against Florida enough to cover that line?
And by the way, this is sort of the difference between college basketball and college football, right? Kudos to John Shire and Todd Golden, the Duke and Florida coaches, for scheduling this game at this point here and giving each other, top 25 opportunity, giving their kids an opportunity to test one another. And for Florida, listen, the big issue for them has been working in that new backcourt there. Their guard play, their transfers. They got a ton of big men there that have returned, right? Thomas Haw, probably one of the biggest names, but a lot of new faces there. Alex Condon's been there. Chania's been there. But the problem is they can't get it together offensively, Florida. That will come in time. But boy, oh boy, let's see how they do at Cameron Indoor with Cameron Boozer and the rest of this Duke team that looks pretty good, Donnie. No Cooper Flagg, but my goodness, this team looks pretty good once again, the Duke Blue Devils.
Connecticut goes to the Fog tonight to take on Kansas. How about this? Line opened up around 1.5. Now we're sitting 2.5 live here and a 140.5 price point if we take a look at UConn and Kansas. Kansas's best player not back yet, Joe. Is that correct? Is that why we're seeing this line still as a dog for Kansas?
And it's so funny, Donnie, because he hasn't been back, but yet we continue to see them win games against top 25 teams in the tournaments, and they have done very well. But that's Bill Self, that's coaching for you. And listen, it's not like they have a bunch of 2-star athletes on that team recruited to Kansas. It's one of the better teams money can buy, even if your best player is not available. Very tough, but they're doing it, Donnie, with defense, which, of course, early in the season will win you some games you probably have no business winning.
North Carolina and Kentucky, 2 blue bloods getting off here tonight, and that is it's going to be in Rupp Arena here. How about this spread? I had the opening look-ahead line, Joe, 8.5 at FanDuel. Now we're seeing 5.5s across the board and a total of 161.5. The best roster money can buy in Kentucky, taking on those Carolina Tar Heels.
Yeah, poor Mark Pope there. But listen, I don't want to say it's a must-have game, but Kentucky already has lost 2 games, one to Louisville, one to Michigan State. You've already shown that you're not in that same conversation with some of the other upper tier. You need to win this game on your own home court here tonight against North Carolina. The market, well, they're looks like they're fading them here, Donnie, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, good stuff, though. Again, like looking at the use, it's like, hey, a bunch of really good teams play bad teams here. It's nice when the conferences get together and match up those like-versus-like competition. You get that measuring stick game because you're still before the holiday break and the all-important conference schedule, which really kicks off late December and early January. And before you know it, we'll be talking about March Madness, who's getting in, the Final Four and the national champion. Then in the baseball season, yeah, it goes that quick. Same as hour number 1 did. We'll see you right back.